I've killed off the Tres Amigas. Now it's down to una big salary for Bravo to have to pay. So I'm probably going next. That's right, we have the taglines for the season now. So I'm going to give you the taglines and I'm going to give you my alternatives because some of them really suck. Yeah, they need help with those taglines. They really do. Okay, welcome to another recap of The Real Housewives of Orange County. Season 15, Episode 2, Tequila Truth Serum. Interesting name for this episode after the last episode ended with Braunwyn looking in the camera and saying, "My name is Braunwyn and I'm an alcoholic." But that's the way they do on Bravo. Okay, so here are the new taglines. Kelly: "Don't judge me by what I do. In fact, don't judge me at all." Or, "If you censor me every time I say something disgusting, I'll just be on mute for the whole show." Braunwyn: "Cheers to bad choices, then making better ones." Okay, I got nothing because right now she's my hero and I'm not going to say anything bad about her and I'm rooting for her really hard. That may change as the season goes on, but right now after the end of the last episode, I'm there for you, Braunwyn. I'm rooting for you. Gina: "Those who live in small houses should definitely throw stones." Or, "Who needs a divorce lawyer? My soon-to-be ex is a violent stalker. What could possibly go wrong?" Emily: "Life is full of beautiful curves, and so am I." Or, "Shane is punching way above his weight class being married to a gorgeous, successful woman like me. You'd think he might be a little more affectionate." Elizabeth: "I make my money the old-fashioned way, marrying it, then making more." Or, "I married money, then made more. Now it's time to marry some younger guy and blow half of it on him." Finally, Shannon. And this tagline, oi. "I've closed the old door and opened a new one." Or, "I've killed off 2 of the Tres Amigas. Now it's down to una big salary for Bravo to have to pay. So I'm probably going next." All right. We start with Kelly and Emily briefly. Kelly wants to be cordial with Shannon, but does not trust her at all. They are hopeful that Tamra and Vicky being gone will help Shannon to be nicer. I've got some very bad news for you. Tamra is not anywhere near being gone. So far, Vicky seems to have moved ahead and just turned her back. But apparently, Tamra's ghost is going to haunt much of this season. I hope I'm wrong, but there's a whole lot of Tamra in this episode. So what was the point of getting rid of her? So then you can just say things that she said secondhand and she can still be a massive shit stirrer. Oh, without actually having to pay her and pay a higher salary, because the longer you're there, the higher your salary is, which is why Shannon's next. Okay. Emily says, "Maybe Shannon will now realize that I have a pulse and I breathe air," because in the past, Shannon notoriously just totally ignored Emily. But now she needs new friends. So it's a good point. Okay, Elizabeth's family is visiting. I don't know if they're still living in Missouri in the Ozarks, where she came from. Her brother and her mom are there. That seems like they're a very loving family. They actually did live in trailers. It's funny because when I was little, my sister's first husband's, her in-laws with her first husband, were very simple people, and they had a trailer in Bullhead City, Arizona. And I remember on the Colorado River. And I remember when I was little, it was like so exciting to me to go stay in their trailer because it was just so, I don't know, it was a double wide. So it was a nice one. Was it a double wide? Maybe it was a single wide. I don't know, but I just thought the whole thing was cool because it was so kind of compact and the doors were really light, and for like a little kid, it was fun. Plus they had mopeds, which I was way too young, but my brother-in-law used to let me ride until I fell off it and got really badly cut up. And then they said, maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe we need to wait until she's a little older. But, I got to water ski and run around on the river like river rats. So, going from Laguna to Bullhead City, Arizona, that was exotic for me. I loved that trailer. Anyway. Okay. All right. Jimmy works in tech, which could mean anything from you are, hello, my name is David. You work in a call center in Bangalore to you own a tech company. When people say you work in tech, that's vague. Okay. But he's tall, actually. It's funny, you see him with her and you realize, oh, he's quite tall. He's a tall drink of water, big guy. And he's younger than her. Elizabeth's father was Mexican. She was half Mexican and half German, but her father never wanted her to learn to speak Spanish. This is so sad. I hate it when this happens. So they're like, oh, no, people are going to treat you differently and they're not going to respect you if you speak Spanish. Same thing kind of happened with my stepson. His mother is half Cuban, half Venezuelan, and he just did not grow up speaking Spanish because his mom just didn't value it. And she thought, no, I don't want him to speak Spanish, which is just, that's so sad. Anyway, so Jimmy's 100% Mexican, and she likes that a lot because, it seems like she's like, that gets me in touch with that side of me, that half of me. And they seem kind of cute together, frankly. So, now, Sean and Braunwyn go out for Valentine's Day. She wears a lovely red dress. She looks very pretty, but she's not feeling very pretty inside. There's no drinking for her. She's decided, she's already stopped. And she insists that Sean feel free to drink, that he shouldn't, worry about drinking in front of her. That's a kind of controversial thing. That's usually why the first 30 days that you're sober, you're in a rehab. Because you're probably not ready to be going out with people while everyone else is drinking around you. Now, it's interesting. They haven't had sex since she has been sober, which has been 14 days. And again, I can't believe she's just going to do this with no rehab, no AA. Either really brave or really stupid. Not sure which. Anyway, so, Sean was an enabler. He always took care of drunk Braunwyn. She usually knew that she could go completely crazy because he was going to be there to make sure that she was okay. And so now they're going to have to really readjust their entire marriage, their entire relationship. You don't want it to be alcoholic and enabler anymore. You want it to eventually be a couple that's on the same par, on the same level, working together in a healthy way, not an unhealthy way. So yeah, things definitely will change. Shannon has been working on her company, which is now called Real for Real. I know that she was thinking of doing frozen entrees. She was thinking of doing a healthy restaurant. I don't know what this is. This looks like little food drops. I don't know. They're little bottles with stoppers. I don't know if it's supplements or if it's actually food. I don't know. But she has used all of her money. Don't use all of your money if you're starting a business. She doesn't have any angel. She doesn't have any investor. She doesn't have anyone, which is surprising. You would think that someone on the Real Housewives of Orange County could attract it, and she's been on there for a while, could attract an investor, but she's doing it all on her own, she says. So she got 1.4 million from David. And also she gets 30,000 a month. Okay, well, that's a nice safety, a nice little cushion. She gets 30,000 a month. So I guess if she blows the whole 1.4 million on the company, it's not the end of the world, but still not a good idea. She should have put like half of that maybe, and at the most, and said, okay, this, because I have to think of all of these other things. And also the 30,000, I don't think is going to stay 30,000 forever. I'm sure a big part of that is the girls. I don't think that's just spousal support. I think it's spousal support and child support. So you got to figure when the kids go, it's going to be like half that much, which that sounds like a lot of money, but you know what? The lifestyle she's leading in Orange County, that won't support her, not without other funds. So by putting all of her nest egg in, not smart. Okay, and then she goes and does even stupider things. Her boyfriend John is apparently on the board of the company. He's like brainstorming everything and doing everything with her. So that probably means she's already like cutting him in and giving him a % of everything. You're not married. How long have you known this guy? It's been a hot minute. Slow down. And then she's already hired his oldest daughter as like, you know, part of the company. And she's saying, this is so great. It's helping me so much. No, you're better off hiring people. That's so dangerous. Yeah, my boyfriend and his daughter are helping me run the company. And she has other people she's hired too. She has experts in there too. But I'm just like, no, you've spent too much money and you have your boyfriend as, you know, a major part of this. He's clearly giving you advice and helping you run the show. Nope. That's just a recipe for a lawsuit, because even if you don't give him a percentage, I can guarantee you when you break up, because chances are you will break up, I'm not being negative, when you break up, if the company succeeds, he's going to come back in a few years and sue you and say, well, I gave you all these really important ideas up front because I worked with you that first year, that crucial year when we were, you know, brainstorming everything. Guarantee he's going to come back and sue the pants off her. So even if he seems like a great guy, hey, they all seem like great guys, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they'll be married and they'll live happily ever after, and the company will thrive, and you know, yeah, that would be great. That would be great. And rainbows and lollipops and unicorns. Okay, you know, I'm again really with, you know, behind Gina. Because of everything she's been through, and you know, she's just kind of cute, she's funny, but I am afraid that Gina gets her hair extensions at the same place Darcy and Stacy get theirs, some kind of online hair extension outlet, or Extensions R Us with the letter R, because her hair just always looks frizzy and weird. You can see that she's got kind of short hair, and then the extensions are coming out down below. It just, again, you know, don't wear extensions if you can't afford good ones. Get a cute short haircut. She'd be adorable with a cute short haircut. Don't, yeah, please. Friends don't let friends wear bad hair extensions. Okay. All right, so Gina and Emily have lunch. Gina talks about her happy diet. She's gained a lot of weight because she's happy. You know, she was skinny to begin with. She's fine. I'm sure she'll figure out a way to even it out. Gina and Emily are friends again. They are like sisters. And Emily teases her because Gina missed Braunwyn's kid's birthday party because Gina just forgot. Somehow she forgot to put it in her iPhone or whatever, but she forgot. But she's going to have much more serious problems with Braunwyn. That is nothing. Okay. Emily says, you know, Braunwyn has been talking shit about your townhouse, the townhouse that she's sharing with her new boyfriend and his kids and her kids. And I guess there's 6 kids and the 2 of them in this 1,600 square foot townhouse. And interestingly, Gina said that Tamra is still part of everything. She's still shit stirring. Tamra played tennis with Gina, and Tamra told Gina that Braunwyn was also talking shit about her. You may not see Tamra. We'll be hearing from her a lot, at least in this episode. I'm afraid the whole season. Kelly also said this about Braunwyn. Kelly also said that Braunwyn was telling her how she was, you know, how she couldn't believe that she could live in such a tiny condo with all those kids. And, you know, I mean, I don't know if Braunwyn means it hatefully. Look, she's in a huge house and she has 7 kids, so she, I think, thinks that every child has to have their own bedroom. She can't imagine, the humanity if people have to share bedrooms, which is normally what people do. And by American standards, a 1,600-foot townhouse is not that tiny. Not everyone lives in 8,000 square feet. And as we find out soon, that house is rented. The 8,000 square foot house is rented. More on that later. Okay. So Braunwyn and Gina have never been friends. Gina honestly feels like it's because she just doesn't have enough money. Braunwyn sees her as someone who's just kind of low class, and Gina's not that interesting to her. She feels like if she belonged to the Balboa Bay Club or something else like that, or the Yacht Club, or, you know, lived in a big house in the right neighborhood, that that maybe then Braunwyn would consider being friends with her. Okay. Now they're sitting there and they start to drink shots of tequila. They were drinking skinny margaritas, and skinny margaritas morphed into shots. A lot of shots. And now they're joking and saying, instead of the tres amigas, they're the dos idiotas. As Shannon would say, we're the tres amigas, now we're the dos idiotas. Okay, and that, again, this is where they find out that they're renting, Braunwyn and Sean are renting an 8,000 square foot house. You know, why? Why would you throw away $20,000 a month? I mean, we're renting right now because we're kind of trying to figure out what we're doing. Maybe it's the same thing. And maybe to them, $20,000 a month is, you know, the same as what we're paying for our place is to us. Maybe it's just not that big of a deal. So, but ooh, that's like, ouch. And, you know, they're wondering, Emily and Gina are wondering where the money comes from. Gina says, hooking. And Emily goes, oh, Braunwyn? She goes, no, Sean. Sean's a hooker. Because Sean doesn't really seem to have a real job. I don't know, they never really talk about what he does. They make fun of his chunky necklaces. You know, he always has this big carved like whalebone or greenstone, kiwi, you know, Polynesian fish hooks or giant stone necklaces. And I love this. I love this. Emily calls him his immunity idols. They're saying that, I don't know, he might have a hard time attracting women with his immunity idols. Gina's really, really funny when she's drunk. So is Emily, but Gina's really, really funny when she's drunk. Okay, and then speaking of having problems with drinking or drinking in general, Braunwyn texts Emily during all this, and Gina has the brilliant idea that they should call her back and put her on speaker. Okay, Gina is hammered. Emily is hammered. She's going to go along with whatever Gina does, and they're about to get in all kinds of trouble. So Gina basically says to Braunwyn on speakerphone, stop talking shit about me. And then Braunwyn said, you're telling stories about Sean. You're telling everyone stories about Sean. Apparently Gina told Tamra again, and Tamra told everybody else, we're not going to get rid of that bitch. I know she's just going to haunt this show. She's going to be like the ghost of seasons past. Okay, so Gina told Tamra that Sean had texted her one night when he got an Uber for her, and I guess she'd been drinking, so he wanted to make sure. Remember, she had a DUI, so she had to be careful. And I guess Sean sent her a text to make sure that she got home okay. Now they showed the text. It didn't look like any big deal, but he said, you know, when I got home, Braunwyn was already asleep, with a winky face. I don't know what that means. Braunwyn was so angry about this text. She seemed to see it as some kind of like, oh, this is like he's cheating on her. He's emotionally cheating on her by checking on a friend to see if she got home okay. It wasn't a sexual text at all. So I'm confused by that. It was quite innocent. I guess it was Tamra that brought this. Of course, it was Tamra that probably got the information from Gina. Gina said, look, I got this weird text from Sean. And then Tamra goes to Braunwyn and says, wow, look at the text that Sean sent to Gina. Ugh, Tamra, get a life. Jesus. Okay. I agree with Emily. She says Tamra needs a hobby. She does. Okay, so now obviously Gina and Braunwyn are in a very ugly place because of Braunwyn being so upset over Sean's text message to her, and I guess Gina telling people about the text message, and Braunwyn talking smack about Gina's townhouse, whatever. By the way, Gina bought her townhouse. She doesn't get any child support or spousal support or anything like that. They're not divorced yet. So probably with just the money that she made off the show, and I don't know what other kind of appearance fees she's gotten, because I don't think she had her own money. She bought this townhouse. So Gina, who is not wealthy or from a wealthy family, has bought a 1,600 square foot townhouse in Orange County. And Braunwyn and Sean are putting up this fake front, and they're renting an 8,000 square foot monstrosity. So yeah, you know, choices. Braunwyn and Elizabeth go to a kids store together. Emily's daughter Annabelle is having a birthday party that's cat themed. So Elizabeth and Braunwyn are going to get, you know, little cat ears and little cat gifts for Annabelle. Elizabeth says to Braunwyn, she gets along great with her mom. She tells Braunwyn that her dad died from drinking. Braunwyn's dad was an alcoholic, and he also, I guess, essentially died from drinking as well. Braunwyn told Elizabeth about her drinking. I guess she already knew about it. She's going through withdrawal, and she really wants a drink badly. At this point, it's probably more mental, you know, psychological withdrawal than physical, but they're both strong, and alcohol is a drug, and she really wants to have a drink. She says that she wishes that she had not made the decision to stop. That's how much she wants a drink at that particular moment. Okay, and then to make things even better, her nightmare mother, Deb, Doctor Deb, called Tamra and told Tamra that Braunwyn was an alcoholic and had stopped drinking. Yeah, so, you know, like I said, the ghost of Tamra is omnipresent. We're going to have a hard time getting rid of her. We're going to have to call in an exorcist, because I do not want Tamra to be part of this show. Please, God, we finally got rid of her. To have her show up once or twice at a party or something, maybe, but not like this. Not that she's, oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. That's very nice. My husband brought me sushi. They have really good sushi at one of the markets around here. Usually I don't eat sushi unless it's from, you know, a sushi bar, but this particular market has a sushi chef there, and if you ask him, he'll make you fresh. He'll take a piece of salmon or tuna out of the, it's like a commercial, but I'm not saying the brand name because they're not paying me. They'll take a chunk of salmon or tuna out of the fridge, and they'll cut you fresh pieces and make nigiri or sashimi for you. So after I finish here, I'm going to be enjoying that. Anyway. Okay. It's the disembodied arm. That is my husband, Lowell. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I'm afraid this is going to continue. So, basically, Deb forced Braunwyn to share her situation with everyone. I'm not sure if she would have gone ahead and told everybody if it weren't for wonderful, Doctor Deb, the greatest mom in history. What a nightmare that woman is. And the one thing Braunwyn says, it's really true. Deb loves Deb more than she loves anyone else, especially more than her daughter. Deb loves Deb. Yeah. Narcissistic mothers. Okay, a lot of people around here know a little bit about that. All right. Braunwyn is afraid of losing Shannon as a friend because they were drinking buddies. Remember, as soon as Braunwyn showed up on the show, they were like, "Oh, it's the Quattro Amigas. She's another amiga." So, so when Braunwyn says that she's not drinking, Shannon assumes that she's pregnant, and then she learns the truth. And Braunwyn tells her, "No, I'm pretty sure I'm an alcoholic." And she said, by the way, I guess previously, when Braunwyn had said all these terrible things about what a horrible mother Deb was, which I'm sure were true, Deb blackmailed her and said, if you don't take back everything you said about me, and if you don't change your story and say that I wasn't that bad of a mom, and dial it back, I'm going to tell everyone that you're an alcoholic. Nice, Mom. So Deb, Dr. Deb, you can go to hell with Tamra. The two of you together on a bobsled. Okay. So they go out and Shannon does not drink. Braunwyn's considering AA meetings. That's a very good idea. She needs something. Either, you need something. And if you're an alcoholic, everyone's drinking around you. It's like having issues with food. Everyone's eating around you. You can't isolate yourself from it. So it would be a lot more difficult. Okay. Shannon does seem like a true friend. She really wants to help. Okay. Now we're at Emily's, the birthday party. It's really funny. Emily lives in Laguna Niguel, which is over the first set of hills behind South Laguna. And I lived on the beach in South Laguna, and my elementary school was over those hills in Laguna Niguel. And yeah, we always thought it was like, wow, it's just like Laguna Niguel is way out there. So I understand how Braunwyn's kids were like, we're in the middle of nowhere. And Braunwyn goes, no, honey, it's Laguna Niguel. I was laughing at that because actually Laguna Niguel is beautiful. Coto de Casa, where Vicky and Gina and the original Housewives all lived, super expensive, multi-million-dollar ranches, homes, mansions, is way out west, up against the higher mountains, like Mount Saddleback. So, just because you're not on the beach does not mean that you might not live in a multi-million-dollar beautiful house. Emily's house is beautiful. It is worth probably, a few $1,000,000, and it's in Laguna Niguel. And P.S., little girl, your mom and dad are renting. Whereas Emily owns her house in Laguna Niguel. So I'm just saying. All right. But I totally remember being that kid. It was like, if you didn't live within like a mile of the ocean, why? Why doesn't everyone live within walking distance to the beach? Why would you do that? It's just like, yeah. Entitled much? Okay. And again, I just like, I don't really think that Gina should be so sensitive about people knocking down her townhouse for being so small. She already knows that Braunwyn and Sean are renting the ugly mansion. So, she should just be like, just let the whole thing drop and just be like, well, I own mine. So I'm not putting up a fake front but keep it to herself. It's not worth it. Okay. All right, so Elizabeth and Gina meet for the first time at the party, but they don't really have much interaction. Braunwyn and Sean are just rude to Gina. Over what? Over her mentioning that text message that he sent, which really just upset everybody. I don't even think Gina thought it was that big of a deal. I just thought she thought it was a little weird. So that's probably why she showed it to Tamra. Why did she show it to? Don't show anything to Tamra. Don't even talk to Tamra. In fact, let's try and pretend Tamra doesn't exist. La 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 la. It's not possible. She's going to be all over this season. Okay. All right. Basically, yeah, Braunwyn has, my favorite English term, face like a smacked ass. She's got a face like a smacked ass, but she's also really not in a happy place. Remember, physically and emotionally, mentally, she's very, very miserable right now because of stopping with the drinking. So she and Sean are like, okay, we want Gina to apologize. If she apologizes to us for mentioning the text to other people, then we'll be fine. I mean, and that wouldn't hurt Gina to just say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have mentioned it, or I shouldn't have said that it was weird. He was probably just trying to make sure that I was okay. I agree, that's fine. Okay, but just go along with it, Gina. Braunwyn's going through a lot. Just go along with it. All right. So, by the way, Gina's not thrilled with Shannon either, because Shannon said that the townhouse was sad and depressing. We think. I'm not sure that I remember her saying that, but we're going to find out, because this is going to come up in the next episode. Yeah, this is going to come up during the next episode, because I want to kind of roll back and see whether Shannon used the words sad and depressing. Doesn't seem like she would. Maybe she'd say something like, that it would be difficult, or it would be cramped, or something like that. But sad and depressing? I don't know. We'll find out. And then also we're going to find out how it goes, because Gina and Braunwyn are going to have a little head-to-head. They're going to have a little get-together during the week. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this recap, and thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment. Love your comments. And also remember, you can subscribe, which would be amazing. If you do subscribe, drop down and put your name in the comments so I can thank you personally in the comments and also on air. Like this is a big deal. And also you can ring the bell and you'll receive notifications every time I make a new upload. So we're got the last few episodes of Potomac. We've got a fresh season of OC. November 11th, Salt Lake City is coming out. And then it just keeps rolling on and on and on. So I'd love you to join the ride. And I want you to take very good care of yourself. I want you to be good, but not too good. Love you guys. Bye.